Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ISRC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series for race number 11 for the Snowy Desert Racing 135 here tonight at Watkins Glen International. These drivers get to have their second road course of the season, and it's one of the fastest road courses that these trucks are going to handle all season long. As tonight, we're proud to give you all the coverage here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name's Sam Dyer. With me is Zach Hall. And Zach, counting tonight, 3 more races are left before we get to playoff action.
Yeah, 3 completely different tracks too, Sam, and I think that's going to really shake things up here with a very close group there around the 16th position not only, but also on that top 20 spot as we got Christopher Norris with that win sitting there 19th in points. So a lot of predicaments still to play out here in the last 3 races with Watkins Glen here. We're turning left and right tonight. Then we got Charlotte next week, and then we head off finally to the Nashville Super Speedway for that final regular season race. But 3 races. And, man, it's going to be, I think, 3 ones that are very unpredictable at the most.
And this track as well has given us some unpredictable moments in the past. You think back to last season, the driver that looked dominant and was winning the race at the current time, Trenton Jump, found himself being attacked by a lap car and almost costing the 46th the win at that race. And I've got to say, Zach, a track that I think Trenton Jump still the favorite, as we see here on the board as we're underway with practice with 2 minutes left. He's still the fastest driver, but Cody Reed, excuse me, going to be the driver to watch out for. He was second fastest during last season's Watkins Glen race. He qualified second, finished second. 25 looks pretty quick on his own part.
Yeah, he's looking to recreate a great week that he had there at Watkins Glen last season and bring it here with those second place finishes here. But you know, he's going to look to take it 1 position higher, and it's going to be tough to do. I think Trenton Jump is no doubt got to be the favorite. I've been watching a little bit of the practice sessions this week, of the practice races, and he looks super fast on the long runs there. And, you know, right now very close on the practice timesheets for these fastest times, but that's where he really excelled, was those longer runs. And as you can see, Brandon Colley here, we're watching on the screen. It's very treacherous out there. These trucks are on top of the racetrack, and they're very much sliding a lot of times. A lot of guys said that they're describing it in a way where they don't feel like the truck is in the track. They feel like they're more on top of it than in it. So very tough to hold on to the machines, and they're going to be doing that all night long, especially as the tires wear out.
And with this track being so wishy-washy on how the drivers are going to be feeling, the drivers were given notice. There is no incident points that they're going to have to worry about being disqualified from, but there will be, in some ways, still a penalty system to watch out for. That's the cutting of course penalty, Zach, which could be very costly for these drivers at any point during this race.
Yeah, and the huge one is right here. You're going to come down to the bus stop chicane here, and if you miss that, you're going to have a huge time penalty that you're going to have to step in, what we call in iRacing a slowdown. And, you know, it can say upwards of 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds to even down to 1 second. And, you know, it says give up 1 second, but a lot of times that 1 second can end up being 3 seconds of time actually given up. So those slowdowns can be super detrimental, and you don't want to have those pile up as a driver. It can be tough to come back from. But I think the one thing that'll be a little bit different from what we've seen from past road course races, you do have a little bit of a mulligan here tonight with a caution flag.
Yeah. First time in the 3 seasons of the ISRC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series, there will be a stage break caution thrown. Now, the drivers have been notified they're going to be trying a little bit of something different here tonight. Once you get to that stage break at the end of lap 15, drivers are told to slow down, group up before they cross the line again to make sure that the pacing is as smooth and quick as possible. And Zach, another rule that's not placed here for the drivers, and we were kind of shocked by it, there is no closed pit road coming to the end of the stage, so drivers have a lot of options on when they want to come into pit road.
Yeah, it's going to be the Wild Wild West. It's free range pretty much for pit strategy when it comes to that stage, and I think you're going to see a lot of different things being played out. Some drivers are going to elect to possibly think they need to stay out, but I think you're going to see a few drivers, as soon as they come across that last corner, they're coming out of, coming to that final 15th lap of the stage, they're going to be hitting pit road, and they're going to be looking to get that service done because that pit road does not close until that yellow flag comes out. And once they get on it, they're good to go. So those drivers are going to be looking to get their service done so they don't have to come down during the stage and lose any track position. So I think a lot of guys are going to elect to do that similar strategy. It'll just have to be the case of, are you in the top 10 when it plays out? Because if not, and that caution does come out and you come down pit road too late, you could be getting that penalty of a closed pit road.
You got to be careful. Don't get penalized. Don't lose track position. But this is how you gain the most track position. It's under qualifying. As drivers are on track, they have 10 minutes to put down their fastest lap, but they only have 2 laps to do so. We talked about incident points during the race. They're not going to count, but they are going to count drastically here. If you go off track at any point during this qualifying, your lap will be invalidated, and you only got 1 more lap to go. So drivers got to be precise, hit their markers, and the driver of note to watch out for has got to be Trenton Jump. Got the pole here last season and won this race. 46 is going to be trying to do the same thing. As we look at some of the other drivers on track, like here is Isaac Shelley, our winner from Sonoma earlier this season. And Shelley seems to be going with a little bit of a slower route to start his first lap time.
Yeah, I talked to a few of the drivers out there about their qualifying preparation, and a lot of them talked about this, a slow out lap to really trying to make that first lap the fast lap, because it seems like once you get past lap 1, the tires are just a little bit too hot once you get down to the S's, where it seems to be the most slippery spot on the racetrack, where these drivers are just really holding on to the rear end of these trucks going up the hill through the S's. So we'll see what Isaac Shelley can do here on the qualifying lap as he tries to manhandle this truck through its qualifying lap.
See that rear end wiggle just a little bit in the center of the S's, but clean on the exit, building up that momentum to hit the backstretch is the 98. Now heading down into the bus stop. Again, we talked about it. A fast place to go, but you can easily waste your whole entire lap by going into the grass right there. Isaac Shelley's got to be careful, almost grazing it on the exit, and into the carousel is going to be this 98. Again, trying to win both of the road courses this season. Out of the carousels, the 98 goes a little bit wide. That's going to be questionable for himself on this lap. Zach, I don't know if this lap's going to count for this driver.
Yeah, it could be questionable for sure for this. Sometimes there through the bus stop, it can get a little bit close to getting off track. We'll see if it counts. I think it will, because there is a little bit of leniency there, but it may not. It looks like he stays on it, and we'll see what he can do here coming out of the final corners. At the moment, Trenton Jump. Let's see what the 98 can do, and we'll see Isaac Shelley there 4th on the board there, 1:13.63, about 300s off what he ran in practice.
Got to find a little bit of extra speed as Trenton Jump, top of the board right now with a 1:13.230. As we look at some of the other drivers out there on track, here's going to be the 96 of Joshua Freed, rocking a new scheme for this driver, but going to be trying to see how fast can this 96 be for themselves as they're starting lap number 1. As Trenton Jump out of turn number 4, going to be finishing their last time, and we got about half the field about to finish their their second lap to see how fast and did they best their first lap that they put down.
And that was going to be the question for sure. And Trenton Jump not going to best his first time, going to be a couple hundred slower than that first time around, so not able to pick up any time here. We'll see if any other drivers can, as I think a few more still have yet to put that second lap down, including Mark Whitley, who's throwing the board. Logan Brakey, though, he climbs up the 4th there with a great time of a 13:54, so great for him there. That'll be really important for that driver who is looking to maybe sneak his way into the playoffs here late in the season with a win.
Hoping to find himself in. I mean, what a way it could happen with Logan Brakey being just outside of our top 20. A good points day could push him in there. Isaac Shelley, second lap, gonna put him top of the board for the 98 machine, and Shelley with that time going to be about that of 1500ths faster than the 46, just a nose faster than that other machine, and starting to see a lot of new faces as Freed loose out of the corner and drifts it into pit road. Here comes Tyler Dangler in the 19 machine, going to be having their first lap topped in. We've got ourselves 4 minutes and 45 seconds left in qualifying. Now, Zach, there are a few drivers that will not be able to qualify here tonight, as they do have penalties.
That they do. That's going to include Ryan Ferraro in the 12 machine. He will not be able to qualify here tonight, including Danny Cochran in the 31 and Gregory Scholl, who I don't believe is going to be here tonight in the 35. So 3 drivers who got penalties from last week, but we only got 2 of them here this week. So 2 drivers here not going to be qualifying.
As we've continued to watch the 19 on course into the bus stop, 1 minute 14.474, 15th on the board is Tyler on his first lap. Now for this 19, felt like his fastest lap that he could put down potentially could be a low 14. He's already in the mids. He's only got a little bit of extra, but he goes extra wide out of the carousel. And he's going to hope that could build enough momentum. But I got to say, Zach, driver, I'm kind of surprised by their time. Cody Reed, only 8th on the board for the 25 machine, who felt very confident about tonight's race.
Yeah, he's going to have to make that up in the race now, Sam. So it's going to be interesting to see. You got to have a good patience on your head, on your shoulders, but he does know he's got the stage coming up. So keep that in mind, and we'll see what Tyler Dingler does there. Does not pick up on that second lap. Going to be a little bit slower. So he stays in that 15th position. Here comes the 3, Anthony Gaudio. And Gaudio really needs some good races here in these final 3. He comes in 16th in the position when it comes to the playoff standings, and going to be out, though, when it comes to Christopher Norris right now in that 19th position with that win.
And Anthony Gaudio currently is already done with qualifying. 16th is where he'll lie, currently on track, just running some more extra laps. And any practice is needed practice, I would say, with this track. A lot of drivers talking about, I felt like maybe I do need a little bit more practice to put in, and that's what the 3 is going to do for themselves. As let's dive into the points, Zach. I mean, right now we've got drivers that look pretty solidified in. Everyone that's inside of the top 9 look pretty good on points, but 10th in points is going to be Kyle Rochelle. Brandon Colley's going to be 11th. Tyler Dingler's going to be 12th in points. And all those drivers have a good buffer, with Olive Fonseca being tied with Tyler Dingler for 12th in points with 27 over the buffer line. Then it kind of gets a little bit tricky around 15th and 16th in points. Isaac Shelley's got his win. He needs to make sure he stays inside of the top 20 in points. He's got a 32-point buffer there, but it's Anthony Gaudio. The 3 machine only has 10 points over Mark Morales, that as well of Jonathan Smith, but the driver that could bump out this 3 currently is that of Christopher Norris with his win, but he only has 6 points before he gets bumped out of the top 20, which will nullify that win that he has.
That it would, and that would be a heartbreaker for Christopher Norris. And he's got some tough drivers behind him, too. You know, GT Irizarry, Tom Bourne, 2 drivers are really, really tough drivers. But, you know, luckily for his case here, GT is here tonight, but don't see Tom out there on the track, so that's going to help his case. But the one thing he doesn't like to see is Logan Bracken qualifying 5th up ahead of him while he's in 11th. That's going to be a little bit of something he's got to focus on. So it's going to be an interesting time here, as these guys got about still a minute and a half here left in this qualifying session, with a few drivers still yet to take times. But so far, still Isaac Shelley holding on to it, and that's I kind of almost forgot about Isaac a little bit with how well he did at Sonoma. He may be the surprise here for coming out here to stop Trenton Jump.
And also with Isaac Shelley, he performed well last season here at Watkins Glen. He finished 4th during that race. As you see, the ways that rumble strip can hurt you, is Anthony Gaudio, like we said, just getting some more practice time in and found himself wrecking out. And that is going to be it for all drivers on track. But Isaac Shelley finished 4th here last season, kind of similar to what happened at Sonoma. Was up there in the top 5, looked quick, but then, a season later, he is one of the more dominant drivers to watch out for. It's the consistency that got the 98 the win at Sonoma. Could the consistency lie here tonight? And Zach, this track, it's quick, it's fast, and just like that, qualifying is about to be done here in 25 seconds.
That it is, Sam. And, when it's quick and fast like that it is here at Watkins Glen, it's tough to pass. So that is one thing Isaac Shelley is going to love, having that pole position here to start off. But the race down into 1 can get very interesting. If you can stay on the outside in that 46 at Trenton Jump, stay on that quarter panel heading down to the S's, it's going to be a very mixy race there heading down to the S's. But, they can't get too risky, though, because they do have a stage there at lap 15.
That they do, and just like that, qualifying is done, and that means it's time to take a look at the Laugh Lap qualifying results. If you want to go check out some great memes in racing editions on Instagram, well, head over to the _laugh_lap to go get yourself some great Instagram content. As we take a look at our qualifying results, Isaac Shelley, we talked about how he has been quick. He won at Sonoma during this season. He's trying to sweep the road courses here tonight. So he'll have the full award, as well as going to be having to his outside with Trenton Jump. Nick Crawford's going to be in third with Mark Whitley in fourth. Logan Brakey fifth with Brandon Colley sixth place. Cedric Hunter seventh. Cody Reed's going to start all the way back in eighth with Eric Stamp ninth. And John Forbes going to be finishing out your top 10 here for qualifying.
Christopher Norris is going to start in the 11th position. 12th is going to go to Ali Fonseca. 13th is going to be the 00 Ethan Smith. Noah Steele is going to start in 14th with Tyler Dingler in 15th. 16th is going to go to Anthony Gaudio on the 3 machine. 17th is going to go to Nolan Hicks. 18th is going to be Dakota Moniz. 19th is going to be the 72 of Jonathan Smith. And rounding out the top 20, it's going to be the 91 of Mark Morales Jr.
Then we're also going to be seeing that of Carl Puller in 21st, GT Rosari 22nd, Kyle Rochelle in 23rd, Joshua Freed 24th, Ryan Ferraro not allowed to qualify. He'll start back in 25th with Gregory Smith going to be in 26th position. Also not allowed to qualify, Danny Cochran back in 27th. And in 28th, it's going to be Kerry Tribune in that 7 machine. You see quite a few drivers deciding not to qualify, and their positioning was set based off their iRating at road courses. As tonight, drivers are set. They're getting ready to get rolling. And we got time to thank some of our amazing sponsors here for the ISRC. And that's the title sponsor, Race Car Graveyard. Race Car Graveyard, the place to start with your diecast collections. They've got loads of different diecasts to collect, from 1/24th ratios to 1/64th ratios, new, used, and even custom. You can get them all right now. And if you use the discount code RCGY, you can receive 10% off at Race Car Graveyard. Head over to Instagram to go check out their collection, as well as get your purchase at Race Car Graveyard. Drivers are rolling, and let's take a look again at this track, Zach. We talked about turn 1, but also we got a couple of more corners after turn 1 that get this race in a much more of a tricky situation.
That they do, and you know, we talk about the race down to turn 1, like you said, and it can get treacherous. But where it's going to get really very scary for these drivers is heading up for the first time up through the S's there. So I think that's the #1 spot they have to survive here on lap number 1, especially while they're all stacked up, because we talked about how, you know, loose the rear ends of these trucks are. We've seen in qualifying, Isaac Shelley was kind of dancing up through the S's. If it's too wide going through there, it's going to be even tougher for that driver on that offline to hold that truck and not really, you know, make a big calamity of anything. So it's going to be wild as they make it up through the hill here, and then they head down to the bus stop, where you better get single filed out, because going double file through there, it can always be a big mistake. So we'll see how it all plays out. This is usually the craziest part of the track, but then you head down to the carousel where, you know, it kind of cleans up, and then you head down to that final shoot of corners.
Those final couple of corners really can either set you up, or you can be aggressive and try to make a pass. And it's all going to be about outbraking your competitors. The bus stop is a place where you can carry a lot of speed, make a pass, but Zach, there's still always the opportunity of making a mistake on the entry, especially with that right wall that always seems to sneak up on drivers that try to get a little bit too much.
I talked to a few drivers about that entry there. They've changed the curb profile here at Watkins Glen with this new laser scan edition of it here that we've got recently in the past few builds. And that giant curve is ginormous there, so you kind of jump over it, land, and then also to the right of that curve, like you pointed out, is that wall. And a lot of guys were talking about being a little bit loose under braking there when they hit the downshift with wheel hop. So you got to be watching out for that truck to want to rotate right there under braking and get into that wall. It could be a quick ending moment for your race.
Drivers are set. We're stacked 2 by 2 until you get to the end where they decide to single file out. But it's going to be Isaac Shelley, Trenton Jump, Nick Crawford, Mark Whitley getting ready to get rolling here at Watkins Glen for the Snowy Desert Racing 135. Who is going to win here tonight? The third to last race before the regular season is done. We are green here at the Glen.
Just like that, Trenton Jump way ahead of Isaac Shelley here, heading down to 1. Shelley going to try to outbrake down there into the corner, almost made contact. He's going to actually check up that inside line, Nick Crawford going to be held up by that. And now it's going to be Trenton Jump and Mark Whitley leading up to the S's.
Heading through the S's, and Isaac Shelley's got to be careful, but a driver already into the wall. That's the 25 of Cody Reed. He's got to be careful coming through the exit as they're going to be still side by side through the S's. And for now, everyone has survived for themselves up to the hill and now into the bus stop. The drivers lie into getting single filed and into the first bump. You see the drivers rocketing in.
You can see how close they get to that wall. It's all about commitment. They're wrecking behind major moment.
Huge calamity, over 6 drivers all piled in, and the yellow does not come out. We stay green, but already drivers blown engines and more, all trying to get set, and it all started with the 5 at Dakota Moniz.
And that is just how quick things can happen. We talked about the bus stop chicane being one of the most treacherous spots, and we'll get to see her on this instant replay. Maybe exactly what happened here is we're looking back, everybody coming down here to that hard braking zone. And you're going to see here possibly Dakota Moniz go around. As unfortunate the trees there is. Oh, Carl Pooler, they're going around. And then Dakota from here I think is going to hit. Oh, yeah, he's going to have Will Hop there under braking.
That's going to get into Noah Steele, one of the drivers that's 20th in points. He need a good run, but you see everyone else stuck into the wall. And GT Rizzari is out of this race. Ryan Ferraro looks to be out of this race. They're calling it early and done. As that of Kerry Trujillo tries to get rolling, Carl Pooler as well. And in a blink of an eye, Zach, no yellow comes out. We don't get that yellow until the end of our stage, which is at lap 15. And already 2, if not more, drivers are done.
Yeah, and that's a tough break. And it kind of, as I went back and looked at it myself, it all started. Carl Pooler got into the back of Dakota Moniz, so kind of just misjudged it. I think Carl thought everybody was going to get in there at a pretty good speed, but you know, when it's that stacked up, it kind of accordion effects back there in the braking zone, and you can't go in there at full speed. And Dakota had to check up for the guys ahead of him. Unfortunately, Carl did not. Gets into the back of the 5, and that kind of creates mayhem from there for a lot of guys here early in this race.
I will say there was one driver that decided to start on pit road, and it might have been the smartest decision on where they qualified. That was Tyler Dangler. Started on pit road, started this race in 28th. He's already up to 21st because of all that calamity heading into the bus stop. But as we see here, drivers getting aggressive. And Brandon Colley drifting and making the corner work for now, as it's going to be that of Logan Brakey trying to go side by side up the S's.
And this might not be the greatest place to go side by side. We'll see Ken the 94 hold on to it, but he's going to have to slide back in position there as he almost made that drift pass work there. I think Brakey kind of gave him some room and said, here, you go ahead and slide up past me. I'll cross you back over. And he holds on to that spot. But Brandon Colley here looking for positions early in the going here, looking to get into that top 5.
Trying their best to figure out how to maximize their speed and try not to lose too much ground as we're 3 laps in. See here on board Logan Brakey, get to see how he's tackling through the carousel. He's the 29 and heading down into the last 2 corners. This track, drivers trying to maximize their speed. And Zach, this could be a spot where drivers, again, if you're close enough, opportune positioning, you can try to make a pass in these spots, but at the same time, you can throw it all the way with those rumble strips.
That you really can. Those rumble strips, man, with this new surface where you can kind of go off the surface. A lot of drivers called it negative camber. You know, it's like reverse camber where the track falls away from you there. So it kind of makes the that transition a little bit treacherous. So I know some drivers like to go out there and carry speed, but sometimes when you go out here, you'll see Brakey. He'll go up over this curb, and luckily he doesn't go all the way over it. Again, like I said, the track kind of falls away, so it can get a little bit sketchy there for moments. But looks like Brakey doing a good job here and holding on to his machine early in the going, because he needs as many points as he can build up here if he wants to even have a shot when it comes to points. It's still within the range for points when it comes to 3 races to go, but he needs, top 5 performances almost all 3 weeks.
Yeah, and especially with some of the drivers in front of him, he could be cracking inside of the top 20 very easily here tonight. But the driver that he's trying to beat out is going to be Christopher Norris, who's in a heavy battle with Logan Brakey's teammate of the 53, just trying to crack inside of the top 10. That's going to be another tricky spot of talking about is how do you maximize your points? We've talked about some of the issues for drivers like Christopher Norris throwing away stage points and now about to lose touch potentially to just the 11th position.
A little deep there into 6. Almost lost the rear end, now heading into the final corner here at turn number 7. And going to be right behind Stamp. Going to miss that corner of the nose, and now it's going to be Fonseca back to the inside. And it needs to be Christopher Norris going up here and getting stage points and not losing positions here, as it's going to be looking at going on to 11th. But Big mistake almost. There's both of them touch.
Make contact. Nathan Smith says, I'll take that position, as that of the 38 falls back to 13th. And from one blink of an eye of a driver feeling like, hey, I've got a chance to try to stay close to the top 10, potentially get at least one bonus point to work with, now losing touch. And that's going to help Logan Breakey even more on trying to gain some time. Well, you look at Anthony Gaudio, 14th position, just looming behind these drivers that we have on screen.
Yeah, they, like you said, just looming there in the background was that 3. And he's looking, he's hoping that 38 drops out. That makes his life easier there for being right around that cut line. So the more the merrier for him is if Norris and Shelley can follow it. Luckily for Shelley's case, he's up there in the top 3 right now. But Christopher Norris going to have a lot of work to do here in these final 3 races. He looks to try to go back to Ethan Smith, maybe make a pass on that double zero machine. So 38 not giving up, and that's one thing he can't really get too down if he doesn't get stage points here, because this is a 40 lap race. Some drivers are going to go out here and make some mistakes, and you never know, he could end up in a very good position at the end.
And that stage break is going to come out at the end of lap 15. Once 10th place crosses the line, that's when the yellow flag will fly. As we look back deeper in the field, our biggest mover of the night so far going to be the 31 of Danny Cochran, who's given the EOL penalty. And Zach, a driver that was close and did get some contact from that lap 1 incident. He's got some front end nose damage that he's trying to work with. Right now, a little bit off of the pace that he would like to be at, but still getting the points that's necessary.
And that shows you what track position can do to you here at Watkins Glen. Had to start in the rear field due to that penalty from last week in Texas. And you can see the damage on the nose, and that is not going to be good here, especially in a road course like this, Watkins Glen. If we were at Sonoma, if we were at a slower pace road course where it's more about rear traction, I wouldn't be as concerned, but that nose damage here at Watkins Glen is going to be a major hindrance for him heading up through those S's, so he'll try to hold on to that. But this has been really the interesting battle. We're watching the center corner, drifts into 7, he holds on to the Reed's going to go around the outside.
What a save by the 13, and he was wheeling it. Might have lost a couple of spots, but he'll take at least the fact that the 13's still running. He could have easily overcorrected that one, but holds on and gets passed by the Blackjack Racers of Cody Reed and John Force. But these drivers, they were all on top of one another, and it looked to be just one little bad bump that got the 13 loose.
Yeah, like you said, they're all right on top of each other, and all it takes is one moment where it stacks up a little bit too much, and you step on that brake a little bit too hard. And we're trying to, as person, as these drivers out here, are trying to run these brakes as far back as we possibly can stand them, because you want as much rotation when you step on that brake to get that truck turning. And I know Cedric, he likes to run his brakes back pretty far, so maybe they're stepped on that brake pretty hard, got a little bit loose there. Good drift and good save, though, by him. And good heads up by Cody Reed, even to go around on the outside there and not make contact. So tough ordeal as he loses 2 spots. But right now, coming down to that stage, he'll have a little bit of time to try to make that back up.
Yeah, it has time to make it up. And as well, we have this caution that will come out at the stage break. And Zach, all these drivers are getting spaced out. They're little clusters and pods of racing. We saw that lap 1 incident. We're going to, play a little bit of Russian roulette with this next restart, because we're going to put these drivers in the same scenario once again, probably around lap 17 when we go back green after the yellow flag comes out. And that's going to put a lot of pressure on even the drivers that are on top of each other right now, because don't want to throw this race away, but at the same time, you're going to be in a risky position here in just that of 10 laps.
Yeah, you really are. And the question we were asking ourselves earlier in this race, because there's no closing a pit road when we come down to the stages, when that lap 15 completion looks to come around, which of these drivers up front is going to take that advantage to come down pit road and get that pit stop done and hold on to their track position? Because if you're not far enough ahead, you may lose a few spots to lose some points in the stages. So drivers like Logan Breakey in the 29 may not be willing to come down pit road. He's got a stack of drivers behind him, and if you come to pit road, you very well, when you cross that line, you could be out of stage points.
You don't want to be finding yourself losing points if you're some of these drivers that need it so desperately. As we continue to watch the battling for third place, our pole sitter, Isaac Shelley, under pressure from that of Nick Crawford. And Crawford, driver who's found himself into victory lane this season back at Bristol, and he's still working that tail end out of the center of the corner and off. And Zach, that's another thing we talked about during qualifying about how the second lap and more, the tires get heating up. With all this slipping and sliding, I'm now getting concerned about how if these tires are even going to be workable in the next about 2 to 3 laps.
No, you're definitely right. These tires are pretty much every single lap just getting worse and worse when it comes to this truck. You know, we've gotten kind of used to the talk of the next gen where, you know, the tires don't really wear. You run the same speed over and over and you actually kind of get faster. That's the complete opposite in this truck. You're going to run your fastest time on that brand new set of tires. Then those tires are just going to slowly degrade after that and kind of just feel like bubble gum as you really start to wear them out. So it is a tough, you know, position to be in, especially a track like this where Watkins Glen, it's so high speed. Any mistake is a major mistake. It can end in pretty much in your race if you get a wreck.
And speaking of wreck, that lap 1 wreck, we've seen a lot of drivers decide to call it a night, and you can see it all there. Drivers that are DNF'd or hit road. Carl Pooler, that of Kerry Tribune, Isaac Shelley, Joshua Freed, as well as others, as Brandon Colley, the 94, issues for himself, was battling inside of the top 10, is now out of the top 10 for himself. Mistake out of turn number 7.
Yeah, a mistake for sure, and he looks like he opened up the door to Cody Reed in the 25, and then they made contact from there. That sent the 94 around. So interesting predicament there, racing for that 6th position on that racetrack, and goes around in that 94 machine. So tough break for him, but as you can see there, as we close down towards that lap 15, we got our stage points here highlighted in blue.
And again, we're waiting until the 10th place comes across the line. That's when the yellow flag will come out. But stage points, so necessary when we're coming to the end of this regular season. It can be 1 point on if you're in or out, as that of Trenton Jump leads the way. Once he comes across the line, if he's in leading when the stage break comes out, he would get 10 bonus points, then 9 goes to second, and it trickles by 1 point going down until we get to 10th place, where that driver will get 1 bonus point for themselves. Still so necessary, so needed, but with all this racing and contact that's going on, as we watch right here, that of the bubble driver of Eric Stamp, he's got Ethan Smith, that of Christopher Norris, they're battling one another, and at the same time, closing in on the 53.
Yeah, they really are. Eric Stamp right ahead of him here of Ethan Smith and Christopher Norris. This is definitely a little bit of a stack up as Fonseca's been able to get around that group there and get himself up to 9th and try to drive away. But here you can see it. It's all about this battle right here, as that 00 is really closed it in, but just not able to find the grip there heading through the S's. Is now he's going to be under attack from Christopher Norris here, possibly heading down to the bus stop. So this is the thing. You know, you're trying to make the pass on the driver ahead of you, but you don't want to give up any momentum to that driver behind.
It looked like a little bit of a slip up from the 53. Thought there was going to be an opening. Smith says, you know what, it's not close enough. He'll fall in line through the bus stop. The drivers try to carry their speed and into the carousel, as Eric Stamp's got to be careful. Can't go through the grass too much, or you will get the penalty, but goes too high. It's Ethan Smith, and here comes that of Christopher Norris on the inside.
Big moment here for this 38. Needs to get past this 00. Drive himself up there, but he cannot do it right now. Ethan Smith trying to do everything in his power to hold on to the position, but they head down into 6, loose in the rear end for that 00. Now going to be the run for the 38 as they head to 7. Can Ethan Smith defend though well enough here for Norris, as he's going to do the crossover here out the final corner?
Final corner, and this is where we've seen that of Ethan Smith's teammates from Blackjack Racing get into the Snowy Desert drivers, of seeing that of Cody Reed get into Cedric Hunter and Brandon Colley, but into turn number 1, it's a clean pass. It's going to be Christopher Norris. Here comes the switchback, and John Forbes is in the wall on the exit of turn 1. The 11 is stuck. He's trying to back up, and that's going to be costing another position, and now Christopher Norris is in the top 10.
Man, oh man, major moments like that for John Forbes in the 11 is going to open up the door, like you said, for some stage points for this 38, as he now breaks into that top 10 pass, Ethan Smith. And this is going to be huge for him here as they click down the laps here, coming to the end of this stage. And it's even stacking up for that second spot in the stage. So we got battles all around this racetrack right now, as Mark Whitley's looking to be falling off here as the 98 and the 4 have closed them down.
Starting to figure out how do you close in, make these passes, and man, for a lot of these drivers, the mistakes are starting to pile in, and you are not really at this point of this race. I mean, a couple of seasons back, we could say, all right, you made a mistake, come to pit road, use your fast repair at the stage break, but there's no fast repairs for these drivers. If you get any type of damage you're going to have to deal with it in pit road, sitting in your pit box, letting your crew work on your damage. But I would say for a lot of these drivers, they don't want to waste that time, especially on the fact that we've seen so many drivers out of this thing. But Mark Whitley, you see in second place, being caught by Isaac Shelley as well. The 4 of Nick Crawford is just lingering behind.
Isaac Shelley wants to get these stage points here. Every point matters for him as he came in here 15th in the playoff standings and had that win at Sonoma, but he doesn't want to be in Christopher Norris's shoes where he's looking to defend that 20th spot. He wants to go out here, make that a little bit more solid for him heading into those final 2 races at Charlotte and Nashville Super Speedway. But a simple mistake there out of the carousel opens up the door there for Whitley to open pull a little bit away here. But they're going to be coming to pretty much 2 laps to go here in the stage. And the interesting point is when they come around for that 15th lap to complete it, will they be heading to pit road here out of this corner?
That's going to be the biggest question is when you come around the corner, it's going to be the next lap when we might be seeing some drivers have to calculate, do I come coming to the end of lap 15 to 16, or do I come into pit road now? That is going to be the flip-flopping question of do you trust the other drivers are going to come into pit road, potentially lose time with those stops, or do you trust where you're at this current moment and coming to pit road at the stage break as drivers have been notified when you come across the line at the end of lap 15, you have to slow down and let the field catch up. So if you're these leaders, if you want an advantage of coming into pit road, this lap 15 coming to 16 might be your one and only chance of gaining some speed as Trenton Jump with his 3.3 second lead over Mark Whitley, feeling calm, comfortable, and happy not to see any lap cars at this current moment.
Yeah, he's gonna like that view for sure, and it'll be a little bit tougher to get to some lap cars here tonight with that stage. So he's probably liking the fact that he might not have to deal with too many of those. But coming out of this final corner here, he's gonna look to come to the final lap here of this stage, and well, he's got that comfortable lead. But with this stage here, it'll make that comfortable lead disappear. So anything is still left in the realms here for Trenton Jump, but a great stage 1 for him after starting second.
Here we go, drivers hitting pit road. It's gonna be Cody Reed, I think, coming in a lap too soon. He was gonna get some great bonus points with this stop, but deciding to come in now as well. Gonna be seeing that of Eric Stamp. Zach, I'm kind of shocked that they're deciding to pit on this lap and not the next one. I think they're hoping that they're going to jump over the drivers that are going to come into pit road on that next lap, but they're not going to be able to do so.
Yeah, this is questionable here, Sam, for sure. Right now it seems that they're going to elect to run 1 lap on the tires, where a lot of these guys are going to come down from this next time out of the corner. So they're not going to really have any laps on the tires. It's going to be pretty much at pace speed once they come out. As Brandon Colley up ahead there, coming out of the S's, he's looking to catch up to Ethan Smith in the 00 and make a move, but he got a little bit loose there and got the grass.
And with drivers coming into pit road, it now puts Christopher Norris into that of 10th position to get bonus points. Brandon Colley as well going to move up with Ethan Smith and others needing these bonus points. And coming to the end of the stage, Trent Jump hits pit road. Mark Whitley and everyone in the top 4 all coming into pit road. And now, if these drivers can make the pass, they could be the leaders at the timing of the yellow being thrown. As here comes Trenton Jump, everyone else into pit road. And Zach, could be an important call. Do you hit pit road now for track position, or do you stay out, maximizing those bonus points as 10th place comes across the line? It's going to be seen. Ethan Smith staying out, Brandon Colley and Norris all staying out for bonus points.
More move by these guys who need them, and there comes the caution as 10th finally does cross the line. And this is going to shake things up. A lot of drivers coming to pit road that are looking to gain track position, while some drivers here are looking to gain those bonus points.
Trenton Jump's going to get rolling for himself in the 46 from the lead back to 8th. He's only going to get 8th place points. Mark Whitley will get 9th place points, and Isaac Shelley will get 10th place points, which I think they're okay with getting those types of points, knowing that they're good. They've all 3, at least for that of Mark Whitley, Isaac Shelley, they're good with their wins that they have. Trenton Jump still searching for that first win, but he's got plenty of points to feel good where he's at with finishing back here. But got to give credit to Christopher Norris. Great job on staying out, but it might have been for nothing because the driver he's trying to catch up to, Anthony Gaudio, going to be in that of 5th place.
Yeah, that's not what he wanted to see for trying to gain on the guys ahead of him. but it allows him to build a little bit of gap to the drivers behind him. I think that's going to be the big thing for him, especially with GTR is already out of this race too, and Tom Bourne not being here. He's liking what he's seeing right now. And Noah Steele too being back in 16th, so that's helping the chances of Christopher Norris, and he needs to build the gap because we got Charlotte and and also Nashville Super Speedway still looming, and anything's possible still in those two races. As you can see here, the field's starting to stack up here and queue up, as I think you'll see the rest of the field come to pit road.
I believe they're going to have to go at least one more lap, and then those that have not pitted can come into pit road, as looks like they're going to be making this indication as they're coming around the corner. Going to be catching a pace car. Here is going to be your top 10 drivers getting those stage points. It's going to be Cedric Hunter in the 13, Ethan Smith in second, Brandon Colley third, Christopher Norris fourth, with Anthony Gaudio getting fifth. Danny Cochran going to be seeking sixth place with Jonathan Smith seventh. Eighth goes to Kyle Rochelle. Nolan Hicks going to get sixth, and Noah Steele being your top 10 drivers here for the Snowy Desert Racing 135. Thank you for joining us here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We're going to go side by side. You won't miss a thing, as we will be right back in a few. wrecking, they're splitting, and it's a complete mayhem.
We have a wreck at the front. 19 goes down into the 7, takes out the 00.
They're 5 wide behind for fifth. Oh my, the 5 wide here, this ain't gonna work, is it? They're already wrecking into turn 1, and now coming through that of turn 2. This is it, the Daytona. Oh no, the wrecking contact. Sets gets into the wall. Gonna be scattering on the outside. Drivers on the apron. Drivers coming out of nowhere. Edison on the outside trying to get the win. And it's William Edison stealing it at the line.
Into the wall. The 18 trying to block. 77 get into the 18. That leaves 3 of TJ Roberts. 17 to Gavin Rogers. 3 of TJ Roberts is gonna steal the win here.
But second fiddle so many times last season. Christopher Wade wins the season 5 Daytona 200. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You didn't miss much as we've been under pacing, but a ton of switch-ups have happened on track as drivers that pitted the lap before our stage break yellow are now going to be up front with Cody Reed, Eric Stamp, John Forbes, and Tyler Dingler going to be your front runners as well. Then the drivers that pitted a lap on our stage break going to be falling behind them from 5th on back, putting Trenton Jump in a little bit of traffic. And Zach is going to be giving us ourselves a 21-lap shootout to see who's going to get it done. And we're going to talk about it. This race has now turned into a little bit of a gimmick race of who knows what's going to happen on this restart.
Yeah, this has got thrown upside down, as they would say. And, you know, I mean, I look at John Forbes there just a minute ago was parked head first in the barrier in turn 1. He's going to restart 3rd on this restart. So a stage caution at a road course can definitely shake things up. And Tyler Dingler, even 4th, he's liking the looks of it. As it's going to be Cody Reed and Eric Stamp restarting out front, as they pitted that 1 lap earlier, and it worked out well for him. So they did jump him. Let's see what the difference is on tires, though.
Cody Reed's got to hope that he can run away because he's got some drivers that he's gotten into, and they might be a little mad. So the 25 got to lead this restart. Better get a good launch. We saw that second driver get the better launch on the first restart of this race. And now it's time for us to go green for the Snowy Desert Racing 135. Cody Reed going to be going down into turn number 1. Let's see if they can survive side by side for a second time. Let's go 3 wide for a quick second as they're diving everywhere. Cody gets loose. Back in a trench jump. No, the leader of dominating the race is out of it now.
And just like
they're
that,
getting him through the S's now. Mark Whitley gets contacted by Cody Reed. Reed is absolutely pinballing everyone everywhere. The 25 is just making a madness right now of this race.
What a moment here. You can see how stacked up it is here coming out of the S's down to the top of the hill. Eric Stamp leading the way with Forbes up to 2nd, Shelley up to 3rd, Breaky up to 4th. What is going on? This race is turned upside down. Trenton Jump is just got to be kicking dirt right now.
He's going to be completely wrecked. Nick Crawford's completely wrecked. Mark Whitley luckily has some type of a truck underneath him, but they're now trying to get by that of the 25 as Cody Reed from the lead back to 7th, but he ruined a lot of nights. And Trenton Jump, once again, the woes of Watkins Glen strike, and he won't be able to come back from this one. As we stay green, it's going to be Eric Stamp's teammate. It's going to be Trenton Jump's teammate, Eric Stamp, up front, but not for long, as John Forbes is now trying to make the pass. As here comes the 11 down low, and Isaac Shelley in a prime position to try to find himself winning and sweeping the road courses.
Yeah, once again, Isaac Shelley looking for another road course win, but it's going to have to go through this 11 and this 53, as it looks like Forbes going to make that pass work. But now Shelley going to try to make quick work of Stamp here with the opportunistic pass here to the inside, down into the S's. And can he make it stick? Almost close contact as he slides up in front of that 53 to take 2nd.
The 98 recognizing he's got to go, be aggressive, go for the win, but he might throw it all the way with the way he's driving right now. That 98 machine up to 2nd, wiggling and sliding all around, and they're all doing the same, coming on the top of the hill, but through the bus stop. Shelley, who looks cleaner, he's now going to go after the 11, who before the stage break caution was nose first into the wall. He's now going to be right there trying to battle for the lead, and now John Forbes got to be careful as the 98's right there on the quarter panel.
Contact between Brandon Colley and Mark Whitley behind all this group 2 as the top 3 continue to battle. Colley goes around in his 94, and look at this, Shelley all over the back deck lid. He's going to have to look to the inside, but Forbes covers him off. Does he look high here? Now Forbes going to push up wide, this race continues on down the front straightaway. Great defense from Forbes, but at some time, push is going to come to shove.
It really is, and for Isaac Shelley, I think he gave one good shove, but can he come back from this? As further behind, gonna be seeing Logan breaking Eric Stanford out of third place. Gonna be seeing the 29 trying to make the move go forward as drivers deeper in the field. I mean, Zach, we kind of were hypothetically talking about there was a chance for Trent Jump to be wiped out with the restart. Dominated the first stint of this race. The gimmick thrown out of a yellow flag, a complete rule change in the middle of the week that drivers were not expecting. It made so much confusion, and now the driver that probably should have won this race is out of it, sitting in pit road, and it's anybody's race at this point.
Yeah, you got to feel for Trent Jump, man. Just a tough break here, looking to repeat at this racetrack. And a stage caution and one simple move going down to the inside, and the 25 makes the mistake of getting loose and takes the 46 with him, and the 46 gets the real brunt of the things. I mean, Cody Reed's still out there in 6th, but Trent Jump on pit road, race over pretty much for that 46 machine.
You also got to be thinking for Nick Crawford. He was up instead of our top 5 for a quick moment. Now he's heavily damaged in finding a way out of this, but for the lead, once again, Shelley trying to get a better launch, not able to do so as he keeps it close. And Zach, I gotta say, for this 98 machine, he could just give one big bump and get John Forbes out of shape, but it just seems like for the 11, he's a lot more aggressive into turn 1 than what we're seeing from Shelley. And I think that's the main reason why he found himself in trouble in that stage 1 incident. He's got to be careful, especially because we're inching closer and closer when we're seeing the 11 find his issues during stage 1.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna, I think Shelley's got to make a decision what he's gonna do here, because, like you said, I think the 11's been so aggressive into 1, but Shelley's been quicker overall around the whole entire track. He's just kind of getting held up a little bit. A little mistake there through the bus stop, got a little too much curb. We're gonna have a better inside line here, trying to get a better exit, and they added this runoff here, and these guys are definitely utilizing it to see how far wide they go there over that curbing as they head down the 6 and 7 here. Shelley looks to the inside, but Forbes blocking, but Shelley's going to be there. It's going to be a late move, but Forbes going to cover it. Now the bump to the rear bumper. The 11 almost goes around.
Out of the way, get him out of here. Logan Breakey's now going to be forcing it side by side for the lead. He'll have the outer lane. He'll have to back out, try to do a crossover move. Not able to do so, but he's on the back bumper. Logan Breakey now going to be trying to get to the inside lane, setting up the turn 1. He's got the nose. He's there. Can he make the pass cleanly, though? We saw drivers locking up into turn number 1. Breakey, hard on the brakes, stays low, back into the throttle. Give the lead to the 29.
This is what the 29 is looking for. He wants to break into the top 20, and he wants to get a victory. Now Shelley up off of the groove. He's going to slide back, and now Forbes going to go around the outside of him to take him back to 3rd. And Breakey, just like that, from 3rd to 1st in 1 lap, and he's loving what he's seeing. Is now behind that Norris. He's got Stamp all stacked up behind him.
And now going to be seeing that of John Forbes still holding off Isaac Shelley. And Shelley's got to be thinking, I just got by you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. John Forbes holds on for now, but almost comes back in the 98. They'll be side by side through the carousel. And just in a blink of an eye, Zach, this race from the stage break to now, it just is constant chaos up front.
And Logan Breakey taking advantage of these moments here now up front. This is really opened up the door for a lot of different things to play out here. Now Shelley into the back bumper again to Forbes as this continues to stack up as they come to 7. You got Stamp here. You also got Cody Reed now making a pass on Norris behind there. So it's all stacking up as Breakey's trying to run away.
Driver you don't want to see in your back bumper is that 25 Cody Reed. Well, Reed gave a bump to another driver. He's already made a mess with a couple of Desert Racing drivers. Snowy Desert Racing drivers. Will he make a mess with some of these colored teal drivers? He's already gotten Trent Jump. He's got 2 more in front of him.
Look at this stack up still, as you can see Shelley not able to get around Forbes. Forbes so good at defending here at Watkins Glen, able to put his truck in just the right spots. Is now Shelley to the outside here, heading down to the bus stop chicane. They're racing side by side, contact down the straightaway as they make bumping and banging, and Shelley loves it because he goes around the outside, but Forbes diving in there. He's going to have to settle for 3rd here as they head to the carousel, and Shelley now going to set his sights back up to the lead and see if he can calm down the nerves of that 98.
Settle down. You still got a lot of racing to go. We're coming to 15 laps to go when they come across the line. And Isaac Shelley, he's burnt the rubber off. Had to get by John Forbes twice now. And now the sights are set on the color teal graphics driver, that of Logan Breakey, who was one of those that was just outside of the top 20 in points. We talked about potentially being a driver that could push Christopher Norris. out of the window and making his win at Atlanta null and void. But here comes still the battling behind Cody Reed. He's in 5th place. It's still a driver that has a lot of speed that can threaten those that are up front.
Look at this here, the move down to the inside, but Cody Reed going to go around the outside. Look to make a stick, but he goes too wide there, and that's going to allow Stamp to hold that spot. And now look at this, Moore's going to be to the inside here at 3S's. Offline is so tough here, but a 25 does hang on to the quarter pound. Now Moore's going to be offline as they head to the right, the left-hander back to the right as Cody clears it.
And here comes that of Mark Whitley. His race isn't completely over just yet after winning last week. He's hoping to find himself back into victory lane. But man, this 77's got a handful. He's got to get by the 38 with ease in the entry of the bus stop. And now he'll aim to try to crack into the top 5 with Cody Reed.
And moving his way forward, Mark Whitley's going to be the one I think people need to watch out for. He was looking pretty quick there, but he did fall off in the longer run. So as the longer this run goes, will that 77 start to struggle, or did he learn from his mistakes from before? But behind him, the battle started to even heat up as you got Ethan Smith trying to make a pass, even Christopher Norris and Cedric Hunter battling back there behind him. But here comes Mark Whitley closing it down on Reed.
Reed's got to be careful. He's got to get a good exit, or he will see the 77 go for that position. But as this pass is going on, will it be made into turn 1? Because they're running hard as there is actually contact further behind Ethan Smith and others as Mark Whitley throws it down to the corner, dives it. Will it stick? It will stick for that first corner. And on the exit, Cody Reed's just got to watch the 77 go on by. But Ethan Smith, Nick Crawford, they make contact on the exit of turn 7. They now fall back, battling for that at 15th. But for the lead is where a lot of this action's got to be placed. Isaac Shelley is on the bumper of the 29.
Here they come, bus stop chicane. Logan Brakey was able to take advantage of Forbes and Shelley battling, but Shelley with the outright pace here able to close it back down. And with them coming to 13 to go soon, at 77 of Mark Whitley starting to close down on them. Also, they cannot look too far behind. So right now, Shelley needs to keep his focus on Brakey, but Brakey needs to be perfect here to not give the advantage to him, because you can see Forbes, you know, he was not as quick as Shelley, but he was able to place his truck in the right spots to not allow Shelley to get that move done. And Shelley's also, he's made a few mistakes too every now and then.
They got to be careful. They're coming up to lap traffic. That's going to be the 6 of Gregory Smith, and we've seen lap traffic at this track before cause some calamity for some front runners. Will it strike a season later? Isaac Shelley to the bottom. He'll dive it down low, outbrake the 29, and he might have outbrake himself. So wide that there goes the pass for the lead, and for second place potentially, as there goes Forbes, and Isaac Shelley has to try again for the 3rd time in 5 laps to get by the 11.
13 to go. Can Logan Brakey hold on to this lead? He's got Forbes closing back down on him as they come to Gregory Smith to lap him. The 6 gets out of the way, lets our top 3 go on by as they head to the bus stop. But Brakey needs 13 perfect laps here from himself if he wants to be able to place himself in the playoffs. This may be his only hope.
Mark Whitley's going to be that of just 4 seconds back than our leaders. He's still in striking distance. You see the 13 of Cedric Hunter. He's got a lot of front end damage that he's working off of. That restart from the stage break, it shook everything up. It was looking like a Trenton jump, clear set victory, but a driver is out of this. Cody Reed is done. The 25 is out of it.
Just like that, the 25, it all comes back around on him after making a lot of contact here with a couple cars. He's out of this race in just a blink of an eye, and unsure exactly how it played out for him, but I think he must have made some type of mistake. Actually, I think he wrecked coming out of the final corner, so a big mistake for him. And actually, I think he took Christopher Norris with him.
He did. He decided, you know what, I've hit practically every single snowy desert driver but Christopher Norris, and he finally finishes him off at the end of the day. I guess that's a bingo card for the 25. That was a miserable run for a driver that thought he was going to find himself into victory lane, but we got to go back up front because Logan Brakey, he's got to fend off that of John Force, but he's got Brendan Colley in front of him now.
Yeah, Brandon Colley in the 94 there in front of him. I think he's just going to pull to the left here, let these guys go by, not try to get in the way at all. And Brakey trying to hold on to it. So you got Forbes now, and Shelley close back down too. You know, if Shelley could just stop the mistakes, he should be able to get up there and get this done. But the mistakes have been the thing that is holding him back. Brakey's just been very consistent in holding this pace is right now. Coming to 11 to go. This is going to be a very tense final 11 laps for that 29.
They're fighting, they're clawing, they're wanting every position, and for that of John Forbes and Logan Brakey, their first win of the season for Logan Brakey, a chance and a berth to the playoffs here could give him an opportunity of so many poor runs to start this season off. He's been digging himself out of this hole, and tonight could change everything from a hopeful to maybe potentially make the playoffs to almost a for sure thing with how he's running here tonight.
Look behind him. Forbes went for the move, but had made a little mistake, locked up. That allowed Shelley to look to the inside there in the S's, but he holds onto that spot. That allows Brakey to get a little bit more breathing room, and that's what he likes to see. This battle behind him makes everything a lot easier for this 29, as he can have a lot of breathing room here. And when you have this room and that gap like that, you as a driver can really make sure you don't make a mistake getting into that breaker zone.
He's trying his best, hold off, and it's going to be Logan Brakey just feeling comfortable at this moment. Just run his laps. 11 laps to go, coming to 10. And it's going to be John Forbes holding as much as he can. Isaac Shelley, this whole entire run for these past 10 laps has just been seeing the 98 get a little bit of damage here or there, and it keeps on growing with every door slam and every scrape that he grabs. And now the question is, will he give another bump to the 11 like he's done for every single pass so far? I'd imagine John Forbes might be getting tired of that bumper being used so often.
That he might be, man. He's gonna definitely, I think, be looking to use it possibly on even the 29. So we'll see coming down to 10 to go. There's a lot of options still available for drivers, and a few drivers out there making mistakes, and I think one of them is the 53 Eric Stamp. He made a big slide in one. That allows Cedric Hunter and Anthony Gaudio in the 3 to go by, and that allows them to move themselves up to the 5th and 6th spot. So Gaudio, great run for him. And look, oh no, the 8 around a steal.
And also is going to be seeing Nolan Hicks spun around as he'll try to back up and almost make contact with that of Tyler Dangler. Rest of the field's coming on by. Everyone's woes up, and that Nolan Hicks will fall back to 17th position. And that's not the run that he wants to be seeing for himself, nor for that of Steele. And just so at this point, Zach, 10 laps to go. I don't even know who's going to win this race or who's going to finish in the top 10 with the mistakes, the aggressive driving, and that's what this stage break yellow kind of gave, was another break. You know, instead of a full race that stays without any yellow flags comes out, everyone kind of is running to just stay on the track. You reset them, you give them all close to one another. The gloves are off, everyone's beating and banging because they know we have to make these passes now. It's Jonathan Smith right on Danny Cochran's back bumper for 8th.
Yeah, Jonathan Smith looking to move himself up from the 9th spot to 8th. And Danny Cochran's been dealing with that major damage ever since the first start of this race. And if he could salvage a top 10 on this, I think Danny Cochran's going to take that as a victory for that 31 machine. So he's hanging on to it here as they head down the 1. But Jonathan Smith looks a little bit quicker right now, and I think really that comes down to the speed probably of that 31 up through these S's is probably not up to par.
As we're going to go back up to our leaders, top 3 into the bus stop. Opportune chance for a pass, but both of our front runners, Forbes and Brakey, wiggled on the exit of the corner. Isaac Shelley's going to be right there. Put a blanket over our top 3 as they come through the exit of the bus stop into the carousel. Who's going to feel confident? Brakey just a half a groove high, but he's hoping he can get on the throttle sooner. Forbes, Isaac Shelley, we're almost 3 wide for the lead.
Big mistake from Brakey, big loose there on the outside. Now Forbes going to go around the outside. Here comes Shelley, though, in the 98. He's looking to make the move, but now Brakey looking to hold him off as he's going to slide there. That's going to cut the 29. There's some slack, and they're going to be side by side in the 7 as Forbes is trying to run away himself, but I think Shelley going to go around the outside here. Oh, no, he's loose.
He's loose, but Brakey backs off. He didn't want to give up any time. Heavy blocking for 2nd. Now going to be taking that inside lane. The defensive positioning for Shelley into turn number 1. Shelley cannot afford to fall back to 3rd again, but Logan Brakey back into the throttle. A better exit out of 1, and it's going to be side by side through the top of the hill.
Through the S's we go, almost contact between the 2, and it's going to be Shelley holding on to that spot going forward, and up the 2nd is now Forbes has opened up almost a 1.5 second gap up to that lead position, and it's going to be Shelley now with 8 laps to go, only 7.5 really here to close it down. But can Brakey hopefully have something maybe to close back down on them, because he needs this also, as John Forbes, 5 wins last season, Sam. We talked about it. It's been wild. He hasn't got a win this season yet. This may be the one. And at one point, parked head first into the barrier after turn 1.
But here it comes. Play the Jaws music because Mark Whitley is coming. He's within 3 seconds, and he's been the fastest of our front four for the past 2 laps. He's been slowly chipping away, and with all the contact that's been going on between our front three, this is allowing him to catch up. Cedric Hunter in the pink Hello Kitty machine just a little bit too far back, but Mark Whitley, he's got a little bit of front-end damage, but it looks like the 77 still got some grip underneath and some speed to work with, but he's got to be perfect for at least 6 laps to get close enough.
He may get that chance here, Sam. That's going to be the question. Can he close it down as the driver's up ahead of him? They've been prone to a few mistakes here in that last time by. He was much quicker than all of them ahead. I mean, upwards of 1.5 seconds to Logan Breaky, 1 second faster than Shelley, and about 0.5 second faster than John Forbes. So if he can continue to keep doing that, he will have a chance here coming down to the end. It's just when you get close, it gets a lot tougher to make those passes as that dirty air really starts to hinder your truck's performance.
And also got to be thinking of lap traffic. There's starting to be a lot more traffic in front of our leaders. It looks like Mark Morales Jr. might be the last of those. He'll stay high and out of the way for Isaac Shelley, or that's what I thought. He actually is going to block for a quick second. It's just the timing of the exit of the corner. That's always what we talk about. It's going to hold off Shelley for a quick moment. And Logan Breaky now is going to close in just slightly to that 98 machine.
That he is, and this is going to open up the door for second now. And the more they battle, the more Forbes likes to see this, as he's going to be coming to 6 laps to go here at Watkins Glen International. And John Forbes looking to break through for the first time this season and move himself up when it comes to those overall stats to get himself another win here at the ISRC Truck Series. But Breaky and Shelley would love to change that story, but Mark Whitley is the one that's really proud, and he's closing it down. But last time by, he was dead even with John Forbes.
Trying their best, seeing where they can place themselves here tonight, as it has been a grueler since the stage break. It just reset everyone in so many odd positions, and now everyone trying to see where their cards will lie at the end of the day, as John Forbes, Isaac Shelley, Logan Breaky starting to gap themselves between one another. Mark Whitley really isn't gaining as much time as he was before, but he is closing in on Logan Breaky for 3rd place. But further behind, there's still some great racing on track as drivers battling for that 9th place. Ollie Fonseca and Danny Cochran starting to around one another, and Danny Cochran trying to become one of our biggest movers. He is currently up 17 spots, trying to make it 18 from where he started.
That he is trying to make that move, but I think there's, you see, he gets on the straightaway. Look how much Fonseca pulls away from. That's due to that damage on the front end of that 31 machine. So tough break for him getting that early damage. Fonseca going to look to drive away from him in the 24, maybe set his sights on Jonathan Smith here, who's in that 8th position. So great run for this group of drivers right around this spot, and at least a great, drive up for Danny Cochran too from that 27th position after the penalty. So good job on him there. But man, it's been a tough night for a few drivers out here. But while we're still with 5 laps to go, might as well give a shout out to some of our sponsors out there, and we should give a shout out to our admin box out there. Race Control at your fingertips, folks, is one of the best button boxes out there, as it gives you not only the driver functionalities as most button boxes do for sim racing, but it gives you race control functionalities such as throwing a stage caution. As you can see these guys battling here side by side, and you can utilize a button box when you're racing side by side like this to make it a little bit easier as they go through the bus stop. But if you haven't yet, go check out adminbox at adminbox.com and use that discount code there, FFB/box, with 2 X's there to get a discount at purchase.
And then we're going to move up for the battling for 3rd place, as they're starting to get closer to Logan Breaky, Mark Whitley, and also you could say the battle for 2nd is Isaac Shelley. Mark Whitley's going to get into the wall as they continue to battle on one another. But the battle to see who's going to be in our top 3 certainly raging as well. If you want some great merch, hey, we've got ourselves a shop for you to go get your t-shirts, hoodies, and more. Any size, color, we've got you at that other storefronter. Going to be seeing these drivers running all over the place, and some of them rocking with the merch that we have as well. So go get yourself a hoodie or a t-shirt today as well. You saw them and you see them now currently in your top left. iRacing iFlag. If you'd like to go get yourself a digital pit board or your iRacing iFlag virtual flag system, go head over to iRacingIFlag.com. Use our promo code FreakyFast2022 to get your discount today. 4 laps to go, coming at 3. And John Forbes right now, Zach, he made the mistake. He was nose first in that of stage 1. Should have been the end of his race. But right now, this 11 machine, as long as he stays perfect, this win looks to be his.
Man, I can't believe it. If you would have told me John Forbes would have won this race when he was parked head first in the wall, I would have said, yeah, did you not just see that? And he looked to come back from it. I mean, he got to the wall, hit pit road that next time by, and utilized that stage to allow him to get this track position. And man, he battled tooth and nail to hold on to it. And the speed has come to him the longer portion of this run, as it seems like the guys around him used up their tires, and Forbes here driving away with 3 to go.
And man, I mean, we looked at this season, I gotta say, John Forbes, I thought he was gonna have a lot more wins, still searching for his first. And honestly, gonna be, if he finds himself in victory lane, our 10th different winner this season, Zach, of 11 races. You don't see those type of stats very often, but it's signs on the fact that this season the competition has been that close of drivers being on top of one another, the aggressive driving, why everyone is being in bang. They know each position is so crucial and anything can happen, and that's what we saw here tonight as these drivers racing hard. But the gap for first to second, over 2.5 seconds. It's really the battle for second place that is looking to be the counter as we're coming to 2 laps to go to finish this one out.
Yeah, Shelly trying to hold on to that position, and I tell you what, Brakey is the one that's got to watch out the 29, because he's got Mark Whitley and that 77 all over him here as they head out of the final corner here to start this 2 to go here, as he's going to look to the inside, maybe a little bit of a dummy here to maybe make that 29 outbrake himself. But Brakey here cannot break under this pressure, because, man, this is going to be crucial points for him here. Every point that could matter here coming down to the end of these final 3 races here. You never know for this 29.
And late, 2 laps to go. Eric Stamp, mistake for the 53. He will not finish inside of our top 10. He had to take a toe to pit road. He'll finish outside of our top 15 when this race is done. You hate to see those late mistakes, but honestly, that's a sign. Anyone can find this race being done. Each and every corner so disastrous. And for John Forbes, he's got 2.5 seconds of a gap to work with. He can let off just a tad bit if necessary to make sure he gets around this track.
That he really can, Sam. He should feel confident here with this gap he has built up, and he comes down to the final 2 corners of this track. He's going to look up to that white flag here, man, and that'll give him a good feeling here for only 2.4 more miles. He'll be looking to get that first win.
John Forbes, he's seen a lot of different moments, but man, here right now, it is the most pressure. It's your right red white flag. Can he survive the 7 corners to the end of this race? As that of Isaac Shelley, Logan Brakey, Mark Whitley, they're too far back. They're trying not to wreck themselves as they're battling for third. But John Forbes, through the S's, has kept himself out of trouble. After that stage 1 incident, he had to fight to keep himself in front of Isaac Shelley. Shelley made all the mistakes, but it's the 11 that finds himself up front heading to the bus stop.
That he has, Sam, and I tell you what a valiant drive back it was for him after that stage break, able to start up third, and he's never looked back here, going through the bus stop for the final time and down to the carousel. John Forbes, he's got the gap he wants. He should feel confident coming down to the end of this race that he's got his first win of the season, and he's going to say, he's going to be probably surprised this is the one where it came.
He might have taken notes from Chase Elliott. Nose it into the wall, but your night's not over if its motor's still running. And the 11 tonight through turn 6 out of turn number 7 just has to hit his marks. The 11 of John Forbes finds himself back into victory lane. He drifts, he has some fun, and he will win the Snowy Desert Racing 135.
What a job by John Forbes, and never say never. And look at this here coming to the line. It was Shelley just holding off Brakey, and good job by Brakey there to hold on to third. Shelley just making a small mistake out of that final corner, made it close, but it's going to be John Forbes getting that victory, and this is going to be a big moment for him. And like you said, 10th different driver to win this season. Man, it's been so competitive each and every week.
It's been crazy to see all the drivers and how they've had to compete around one another. Also got to give a huge credit to that of Logan Brakey, 3rd place here tonight. That is his best finish of the season and his first top 5 And man, we get to talk to Logan Breaky on how he feels after this one. Isaac Shelley on his thoughts. And John Forbes gets to have fun burning it down. He still has the nose. He still has the engine. And guess what? He gets to burn the rubber off of these tires. And Zach, the wild race, we talked about it during our commercial break. This race felt like it was a gimmick. And I think for everyone, the way that this race was looking during that first stage, if they did not change the rules in the middle of the week, that they were going to throw a yellow out, this was Trenton Jump's race. I get that John Force won this, but this was all Trenton Jump's until the yellow came out, and it changed everything at the stage break.
Yeah, man, it changes up everything when you throw a caution there in these road course races. And, I think this is maybe what they were going for even. Maybe they wanted a little bit of a shake-up there. They didn't want that straightforward race. And, they got what they asked for here for sure. And I tell you, it definitely added to our commentary. And I know Trenton Jump, he's going to leave here saying, man, that was not really how he wanted it to all play out. But, unfortunately, that is the way racing works, man. We all come here with the same rules, and you got to make it out of here the winner. And it looks like John Forbes having a good time celebrating here as he has made it out of here the winner.
He wins, he gets to have some fun, and for us up at the booth, we're going to step aside. When we come back, it's the Freaky Fast post-race show, and we'll be back talking to our top three, Logan Breaky, Isaac Shelley, and our winner, John Forbes, in just a few moments.
And we are back here, folks, at the ISRC Truck Series. And, man, what a wild night we had here at Watkins Glen. But we got our top three drivers up here ready to have a chat with us up here in the booth. First up, though, is the 29 Logan Breaky. Came in here 23rd in points. Let's hear with him about his run here tonight at Watkins Glen. Hey, Logan, it's Zach up here at the booth, man. Good to hear you, man, buddy. You got a copy.
I got you loud and clear. Apologize for that.
No, all good, buddy. Understand you got talking out after the race, man. But what a great run it was for you tonight, man. 23rd here coming into points tonight. This was a big opportunity. Almost came away with that victory, but what a battle. Take us through it.
Oh my God, I haven't stopped smiling since the checkered flag. I'm so happy to be up here talking to you guys. After the season I've had, man, the first half of this season has just been it's easily been the worst start to any league I've ever done in my life. Like it's been so bad. And these past 3 weeks have been a step in the right direction, but this is just amazing for me. I couldn't believe it when the seas parted twice for me, and I shot ahead to the lead. And once I got clear of John, or maybe it was Isaac, for the lead, my spotter said, go, just drive away. And I was doing my best to hustle. But eventually I made one mistake in turn one, and they got back by me like 5 or 6 laps later. And man, just stoked to have a solid day.
Definitely was a great one out there, man. Logan, well, I'll tell you what, we got 2 races left in this regular season, man. You're building momentum, coming down to the right time of the season. Like I said, it was 23rd coming here tonight in points. You should have gained a good portion on a lot of drivers ahead of you, so hopefully those standings will be a lot more better fair for you heading into Charlotte next week. But we got Charlotte and Nashville Superspeedway, man. How do you feel about those two?
Yeah, honestly, Zach, it's not like we haven't since the start of this season. Me and my team have not even thought about making playoffs. We're just like, look, let's just turn this season around. Let's try and build some momentum in the second half and get some good finishes under our belt. And we've done that so far, and that's just what we're going to keep doing. Charlotte next week is obviously something I look forward to. It is by far and away probably my best oval. So that's circled like 6,000 times on my calendar. So I can't wait for that. But yeah, we're just going to keep doing what we've been doing and just keep knocking off some fantastic finishes here. We're getting better every week, so that win feels like it's right around the corner.
Well, man, we would love to see that, and we can't wait to see what you can do at Charlotte. Like you said, they had a great run there last season, and we'll see what you can produce there. But before I let you get out of here, anybody you want to send a shout to?
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you guys for broadcasting every week. You guys do a good job. Really, really appreciate what you guys do for the league. And keep doing what you do best. Huge shout out to first my teammates, Trent and Eric, and obviously Tanner, our team owner. They've been big supporters of me all throughout this season. They know I've been better. They've been there to pick me up when I've been down the many times this season. So huge thanks to them. I can't thank them enough, but my spotter and crew chief, Rob Sherwood, crew chief, and spotter Joshua Altis, they both do an incredible job for me every week, and I'm so happy to finally start getting them the results they deserve. Really wanted to get that win for them. But we came up a little short today. My mom for watching every week. She's my biggest fan, so she's always tuning in every single week. She's just as stoked as I was here when we crossed the line. So, and thanks for all the guys we had a new caution system this week at road courses, and it went really well actually. So big shout out to all the guys for making that run smoothly and maybe allowing a little bit more of excitement to come into these road courses now going in the future.
It definitely had some excitement, man. I tell you what, congrats on that 3rd place finish, man. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you in victory lane soon.
Oh, you will. Thanks, boys.
You have a great night, Logan. All right, folks, that was your 3rd place driver there, Logan Brakey. What a great drive it was for him tonight. Almost coming up with that victory. But I tell you what, another driver that was mixed up in that top 3 battle that really came down to shake up everything there in this final portion. It was Isaac Shelley in this 98. Our winner from Sonoma. Just coming up short here at Watkins Glen. Let's hear from Isaac, though, with his 2nd best run of the season. Hey, Isaac, it's Zach up here in the booth. You got a copy, man.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I tell you what, buddy, another great run in a road course for you, man. And you won at Sonoma, just coming up a little bit short here tonight, man. But what a battle! Take us through those final 24 or 20 laps there, because after that stage, it was kind of everything was going sideways.
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy. A lot of fun. Just first off, that was awesome. I mean, really had a lot of fun racing with Brakey and Forbes. I mean, we're beating on each other, and I don't know how we all didn't wreck, but I mean, yeah, it was just a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't know what happened at the stage, because like top 4 or 5, pitted like before the yellow came out and under the caution, and a couple of them got ahead of us, and then they wrecked at turn 1, and I don't even know how I missed it, but and then I really thought that was like our best shot to win now, because Trenton was out of it, and I think I was faster than Mark. It's hard to pass here, because falling close to people and you can't really see your braking points and your turn-in points. But I mean, that last 20, 15 laps where we were just, I mean, we were nose to tail 3 wide up the S's at one point, I think, and beating on each other. I mean, it was just a lot of fun. So yeah, good win for Forbes and Breaky, good run for him. And I hate finishing second, but at the same time, when you have a race like that, it's just you have fun and whatever happens happens. So I can't really complain.
Very well said there, Isaac. Man, I tell you what, it was a great run for yourself here, and only 2 races left in the regular season. Now you do have that win from Sonoma that locked you in there. Just have to stay in that top 20. This will help that case as you move farther away from that line there. But Charlotte and Nashville Super Speedway left, man. How you feel about the final 2 regular season races?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about Charlotte. I've never raced at Nashville, so we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, Charlotte last year we were top 5, or last season, not last year. Last season we were top 5 and running well, and then we didn't finish. I don't remember what happened, but yeah, we were pretty good there. So I'm looking forward to that. And then Nashville, I don't know if it's kind of like Dover. I think we'll be good. So because the concrete, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, man, it's going to be very, very interesting to head into these final 2 of the regular season before we head into the playoffs. Isaac, before you get out of here, man, anybody want to shout out for that second place finish?
Yeah, Forbes for the good win. Breaky, obviously, like I said about a million times now, it was just a lot of fun. That was just so much fun racing with those guys, and we were hitting each other, but kept it clean, kept it good. So yeah, Liberty Auctions, Premier Racing Graphics, and everybody on Planet Sim Motorsports. We try our best every week, try and win, but just came up short tonight.
Well, man, I tell you what, it'll be interesting to see how it works out for you the next 2 weeks. Congrats on second, man, and we'll catch you next time out in Charlotte.
Yeah, thank you. Y'all have a good night.
All right, everybody, that was your second place driver here tonight, Isaac Shelley in the 98 machine. Great drive from him there. Not able to get the victory like he was at Sonoma, but just coming up a little bit short to this driver here, who, man, I tell you what, 5 victories last season and 5 career victories at ISRC. You think he would have had one by now, but it's taken this long to get it. But let's talk to Forbes. He's going to be ecstatic. Hey, John, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Well, man, I tell you what, it's been a long time coming. It feels like this season. 5 wins last season, man. You got to look back all the way to Rockingham there in June 20th, man, for that last victory. How's it feel to get this victory here at Watkins Glen tonight, especially under the circumstances?
Oh, it feels fantastic. I came into this race not like I'm always decent at the road courses, so I went, all right, a good like top 5 I'd be happy with. And then I binned it on like lap 15 or whatever it was right before the stage. So I thought the race was done from there. Got to pit road and only had 12 seconds repaired. So got that fixed up and we went back to racing. And I don't even know what happened on that restart, but after that I was like, wow, I got a shot to win this thing. So that was an absolute blast for that last 20 laps. Like I've never had so much fun doing iRacing. But yeah, I'm just glad it worked out. I was able to hang on to it at the end there.
Yeah, man, it seemed like who made the least amount of mistakes was able to get it done. And, it was crazy because at one point you were leading, you were defending to Shelly, and then Breaky passes both of you. I mean, take us through the emotions because that's got to be tough to not overdrive the truck and make mistakes, especially with how, slippery the trucks look tonight.
Yeah, the trucks felt a lot more slippery than last season. So I was just trying to deal with that the whole race and try to keep the tires under me. And when I finally got the lead, I was just trying to control it. And Shelly came up just charging, and I was like, man, I gotta defend this. I can't let him pass me, or he's gonna drive away, and I just gotta hope he burns his stuff up. So I was just trying to keep my same braking distances and stuff, and he was sending it in there, and we made contact a couple times, but yeah, it worked out in the end. Got sent around a couple times. Just had a blast out there.
That you did, man. I tell you, we only got 2 races left in the regular season. You came in here completely good on points. Didn't have the win yet, so this locks you in for sure, but came in good on points anyways. But, with 10 different winners this season, it's been so competitive. How you feel about heading into the playoffs, John?
Yeah, I feel like it's the most competitive season we've had with all the guys that have come back, all the new guys, everyone just joining in. So Yeah, we're gonna have to keep the consistency up for sure. Wins definitely help get your ticket booked to the next round. So we're gonna definitely be aiming for some of those, but just consistent days, I feel like, is what's gonna get us there.
Well, John, I tell you what, man, it was a great win here tonight for yourself in that 11 machine. Congrats on it, buddy, and we'll see you in these next 2 weeks in the final regular season races.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
You too, man. Well, folks, that was your race winner there in the 11 machine, and we'll be looking to pull up our race results here as we look to close out tonight. But I think we got Sam Dyer back up here in the booth with me, and man, what a wild night so far, Sam.
To go get a brown plastic bag, get a little bit of oxygen in myself. That was a wild last stint there. Last 20 laps certainly gave us some thrills and a lot of disappointment for others as John Forbes finds himself in victory lane. Isaac Shelley's going to get second with Logan Breakey third. Mark Whitley gets fourth, but then it kind of shakes up from there with Cedric Hunter fifth. Anthony Gaudio with a great finish for the 3. He needs those types of finishes in these last couple of races for the regular season. Ollie Fonseca gets 7th. Jonathan Smith gets 8th. Danny Cochran, after his woes at the start of the race, gets 9th. Christopher Norris found himself spun out. He'll still get 10th. But we look at the rest of the field here, Zach. There was no way to predict the madness that was going to happen after that stage break.
There was no way for sure. I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit during the caution break and our commercial break, who was going to get involved in something. And as you go through the list here, you get to see, I think Trenton Jump, the number one man on that list there, dominated the first stage. He's going to end up 22nd after it looks like Cody Reed, the 25 spins around. And, we kind of had a feeling something like that was coming. With these restarts at road courses, there's always that possibility and probability of an incident to happen either in turn one or through the frequent quarters after that because you're so stacked up. But man, just to have Trenton Jump taken out like that was such a big tough break for him. And with 10 winners this season, he could have been also a 10 different winner. So we could be looking at even more winners heading into the playoffs. It's just such a competitive season, but still a tough break for Trenton.
Yeah, and it's been so inconsistent. On top of the skill level being so equal, you just never know where drivers are going to finish. And tonight kind of added on to that of so many inconsistencies thrown out. But if you got to win, you're inside of the top 20 in points, you feel confident and comfortable where you're at. And Christopher Norris, after tonight, it kind of gets squeezed up a little bit more, and he's going to feel more and more intense with the last 2 races at Charlotte and at Nashville Super Speedway. But for tonight, it was a wild one at the Glen. But we still got plenty of more great racing action here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We've got the Full Send Racing League tomorrow night, as well as we're going to be seeing the drivers from the Wicked Racing League. Going to be going Super Speedway racing at Talladega on Wednesday. Then we got Stars and Stripes. They're coming to the end of their season on that of Thursday. We get we get Friday off, and then we're right back to the weekend with that of the WSSR World Series of Sim Racing Cup Series, as they just came off of their surprising victory of you, Zach, winning at Southern National. Crazy racing all throughout here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Man, it's a fun week to be watching some racing here.
That it will be, man. We do have a bunch of great races coming up. We did have that wild week. Got a little bit lucky there to get the win, so happy with that. But got also Michigan this week for myself coming up. So, and also some great other races that all the great leagues we have here. I mean, Full Send Racing is going to be at Indianapolis tomorrow night, and I'm gonna tell you, you're not going to want to miss out on that. I think I'll be on the track there too. So I can't wait to join those boys there.
Well, Zach, the commentator, steal more victories from other drivers? We'll find out, as that is tomorrow night. But for tonight, Zach, final thoughts of this wild race that Watkins Glen gives us 2 seasons in a row. Completely different storylines, but just as much chaos.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about that. Last season, it didn't work out the greatest, I think, for a few drivers when it came to those storylines. It was kind of a little bit of ugly scenes. I think here tonight was a little bit more chaotic scenes, I guess you could say. So with that stage caution causing a little bit of calamity there, where drivers making an interesting pit call there to stay out or hit pit road early and get themselves out front. And then from there, the mistakes pile up and it stacks up and it compiles on some other drivers who look to come out here with some good runs. Tonight it went up in smoke here at Watkins Glen, and it definitely can show you how one race to another, everything can change out. But man, we got 2 great races here coming up for these guys too, and I can't wait to close out this regular season because we know the playoffs with 10 different winners, this thing is just going to be so fun to see.
With drivers finishing where they did tonight, the points are only going to get closer and closer. But overall, at the end of the night for these drivers, we had a night of firsts. First time at a road course, we had a yellow flag at the stage. We had a first time this season top 5 with Logan Brakey. And back to victory lane for the first time this season, John Forbes is back there giving us our 10th different winner in 11 races. We got 2 more left in the regular season before we get to playoff racing action. It's going to be at Charlotte for the Oval next week. We hope to see you then. If we don't, we will be seeing you tomorrow night for the Full Send Racing Series, where we're going to be seeing how will the Xfinity cars react at Indianapolis. But for tonight, for myself, Sam Dyer, for Zach Hull, for Robert Moyer Jr., thank you for joining us here for Freaky Fast Broadcasting for the ISRC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. And from everyone else here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow or next week at Charlotte.